Well, the Cougars are on the field in their crimson jerseys, the silver gray pants, the gunmetal gray helmets. The Cougars are going to kick off. Arizona will receive at the east end to our right. So that means the Washington State on defense will start out with Marvin Adams and Ivan Cook at the ends. Rob Cleveland and Tim Downing will be the defensive tackles. The linebackers, Maury Metcalf on one side, Bob Gregory the other. The weak side, Brian Ford in the middle. Ricky Reynolds, Sean Landrum on the corners. Ron Collins and Kevin Thomason will be the safeties. Nick Obrastoff from Nathan Hale High School in Seattle will kick the ball. And for the University of Arizona Wildcats, receiving down at the east end, Art Greathouse and Derek Hill, I believe, are the two receivers. Here's the kick. It's going long and end over end. Greathouse back 8 yards in the end zone, has it, will not bring it out. It is Jeff Fairholm, a wide receiver, who is back there with him, and they decide not to bring it out but to take the touchback. So the ball belongs to Arizona. Line as Art Greathouse, whose dad was a great one at Arizona State some years ago, and young Mr. Greathouse played at McClintock High School up in Tempe, Arizona. Andy Crouch will start at quarterback. So that's the change, the big change for the University of Arizona. Andy, a 6'1", 196-pound senior from Vista, California, will start him from the I formation with a tailback a couple of steps back. Now, in motion, Fairholm through the formation to the right side. Here's the handoff to the tailback, coming straight up, David Adams. And from the 20-yard line, David is out almost to the 25. Brian Ford, who is expected to have a big day here today against Arizona as they keep the ball on the ground, makes that initial tackle.
Well, it's interesting. Washington State has changed their defense already. They started out in the 5-2. They brought Tuni Alapati in and removed Bobby Gregory, who's on the sidelines. I think they'll bring him in for third and long in passing situations.
Adams picks up 4. It's second down 6 at the 24-yard line, just inside the left hash mark. The Cougars with that odd front once again. Man on the middle. Signals called in the I. Crouch to the tailback, Adams. Up the middle. Bounced off a tackle. Driven down by Alapate as he got to around the 28-yard line. It was Adams once again for another about 4-yard gain as he moved that ball out that time to the 28. Alapate playing in there with Ford in the middle defensively made the tackle.
Arizona has a real big line up front. They're trying to overpower the young Cougars up on the defensive line, and they're just working the inside right now with Adams up the middle.
The left tackle on offense is Jeff Reinhardt. He's 6'2", 318 pounds from Norristown, Pennsylvania. Motion Fairholm through to the right. Handoff again to the tailback. Here he comes up the middle, has the first down at the 31-yard line. Brian Ford for Washington State, the man who got there first. Sean Landrum off the right corner, also on the tackle. But a first down on a gain to the 31-yard line. That's a 3-yard advance and 11 yards on 3 carries now in this ball game for David Adams, the tailback for the University of Arizona. Their first down. Nothing. We're just underway. Ball at the 31-yard line on the left hash mark for the white uniformed Arizona Wildcats. Joe Toffelmeyer, 6'2", 255 over the ball at center. He's a sophomore from Post Falls, Idaho. Signals called. He should be familiar with this kind of weather. Motion through to the right side by a flanker. Here's the handoff in the backfield now to the other back crossing over. And that should be Charlie Webb, I believe, who carried the ball. Ford knocked him down. And the game, well, it's not Webb. It is Chris McLemore running from the fullback spot out to the 35-yard line. So a 4-yard advance for McLemore, and it'll be second down and 6.
Chris had a brother, Dana McLemore, who played for the 49ers for a few years and also played at Miami. At Hawaii. So they're a pretty good athletic family in that group.
A pretty big kid. He's 6'1", 223 and a senior. They're in the I again. Adams is the tailback behind McLemore. Motion, Fairholm to the formation. Pitch to Adams, running short side left. Ducks his head in, then comes out and steps out of bounds at around the 38-yard line. So another 3-yard pickup for David Adams, running the ball from the tailback position out of the I for the Arizona Wildcats. They have shown no inclination to do anything but run it so far. Coming into this game, they lead the Pac-10 in rushing offense, 224.5 yards a game, and 4.4 yards every time they snap the ball. And they're very close to that in their carries so far. Adams has gone 4, 4, 3, and 3. Now motion through to the right side by the wide receiver Derek Hill. Here's Adams again, slants to the left, ducks, picks his way through, 45, 46-yard line, and down he goes. And that was Bob Gregory back into the ballgame at the weak side linebacker who wrapped him up. Walk-on Bob Gregory from Gonzaga Prep in Spokane. Probably not big enough to play this game, but all heart.
Well, that's just it. Bob Gregory's a great ball player. You know, he's just hanging in there. He's a safety playing outside linebacker. You have 260-pound guards and 220-pound fullbacks pounding on you. It gets kind of tiring.
A 9-yard gain. They put the ball just short of the 47-yard line. Still on the left hash mark. 2 receivers to the right, tight end to the right. I formation, Arizona. Here's the handoff. It's Adams, the tailback, off the right side. Slipped the tackle, got to the 50, spun away down to about the Cougar 49, maybe the 48-yard line. And down he goes at that point. Alapati was there. Metcalf was there as they wrapped him up and dragged him down, but he got across midfield into Cougar country now for the first time this afternoon at the 49.
Well, Adams really can make tacklers look bad. He comes up, he's not a very big kid, but he's got great quickness. He just makes a couple moves and he darts right back. He's waiting for the hole to develop before he makes his cuts, and he's really been very effective here in the first quarter.
Second down, about 5.5, 6 yards to go from the Washington State 49. They stay in the eye with quarterback Andy Crouch making his first start in relief of Alfred Jenkins. Now has the team set, wide men both ways. Back handoff deep to the tailback through the middle. He goes at the 40, spins at the 35, 30, and down to the 27-yard line, David Adams. And ridden down finally by safety man Kevin Thomason, who made the saving tackle. He was the last man back there who could at the 27.
Well, it doesn't take a genius to figure out the game plan for the Wildcats right now. Adams has carried the ball 7 of the 8 offensive plays that Arizona's had it. He's been very effective.
49 yards, a 7-yard average, with his last couple of carries being 9-4 and 22. Now ready once again. The tailback set, Adams. Here's the quarterback running the option. Pitch back to Adams. It's on the ground. He slaps it out of bounds, but for a loss back to around the 32-yard line. So a loss of 5 for the Arizona Wildcats on that as Crouch running the option to the left. Pitched back high and past Adams. I guess you'd have to charge that loss to the quarterback. Adams didn't have much of a chance. He slapped it out of bounds.
Oh, not at all. That was a bad pitch all the way, but nice play by Tuni Alapati, who came looping in from the inside, really hammered him before he had a chance to pitch that ball. He forced it high.
So out of the huddle they come once again now. Ball is at the 32-yard line. That grinding running offense, tailback oriented for Arizona. Here's the fake draw, back to pass. Crouch first time, throws deep over the middle. Tip, intercepted at the 14-yard line by Thomason. Kevin Thomason picks it off for Washington State. That is his 5th interception of the season, and that keeps him right up at the top of the circle.
Oh, definitely. The Pac-10 leader is number 6, a young man out of Corvallis, Oregon, at Oregon State. And that's a big interception for Washington State. If you take into account the games at Washington State's been very effective, they've been plus on the turnover side. They beat SC, they were +5. They tied Arizona State, they're +5. They beat Oregon State, they're +5. So those games where they've won games and we're right in an excellent turnover ratio.
Why do you march 48 yards on the ground and then throw?
What the heck is
I don't understand this game anymore. All right, quarterback ready. Ed Blunt calling the plays for the Cougars from the 14. Takes the ball, rolling deep left, throws upfield, caught by James for the 21-yard line. Michael James, a fine leaping two-handed catch for Washington State, and ridden down on the play by the outside linebacker Dan Lockett. But again, as they'll put that ball down at the 21, a 7-yard passing advance on the opening offensive play of the ball game for the Washington State University Cougars. Ed Blunt to Michael James, and the Cougars are 1 for 1 through the air and 2nd and 3 at the 21-yard line. Over the ball, Alan Boatman, Kittrick Taylor in motion through to the right side. Back to pass now, nope, draw to Kerry Porter up the middle, but nothing there. And Porter is stopped hard at the 20-yard line. So Kerry Porter may have lost a yard on his first carry of the afternoon. And his offensive total is -1, and the Cougars come to their first big play, 3rd and 4.
Boy, that just showed excellent team speed for the Wildcat defense. They filled that hole. There was a hole there for about a billionth of a second. Then there was nothing left.
Myron Evans, their linebacker, the quick man and a big man who gets there and hits hard. 3rd down, Cougars at their own 20 on the left hash mark. Open side to the right. Here's the snap, Blunt, counter option, full spin, rolls to the right side. Hawks the arm, now will run. 20, 25, and got the first down as he brought it out around the 27, maybe the 28-yard line. So Ed Blunt playing on a tender ankle and a sore foot. Rolled out to the right that time and raced for a first down. They'll put it at the 28-yard line. It's a 7-yard advance and a first down.
Excellent coverage by the Wildcat defense that time. And it was nice to see Ed. He had not been running much this year. He's playing with those high top tennies, so you know he's got those sword tootsies.
Nothing. Cougars with the ball on their own end of the field at the 28 on the right hash. Open side to the left. Here's Blunt faking the handoff, running left, pitches back, lead on the ground. Porter tries to field it on the bounce. Did! Got by the last man. He's down the sidelines at the 50, the 40, the 35, grabbed and wrestled down as he got to the 35. Chuck Cecil there to make the tackle with Eugene Hardy, the two safety men. What a fortuitous bounce.
Boy, very nice bounce. That ball just slipped right out of Ed Blunt's hands all the way. He just picked it right up. Kerry Porter looked like a shortstop. He one-hopped it, took it up. A great block out of the corner. I wasn't sure if it was Kittrick Taylor or whoever it was, but he cut the corner down. Kerry just ran like heck. Great job.
37 yards on the play for Kerry Porter, and a Cougar first down rushing, and it is first down at the 35-yard line of Arizona. Quickly, Kittrick Taylor threw in motion to the right side in his scoreless first period. Blunt hands the ball away to Porter, bangs in with a flag down on the right side, and down he goes after a gain of just a couple of yards down to about the 33-yard line. Kerry Porter on the carry with the marker down at the far side.
It looked like the Wildcat defense was offsides that time. Somebody from the right side leaped across the neutral zone, and that's 5 yards. Freebie for Washington State.
The Cougars undoubtedly will accept that in lieu of the short gain and use up the down. They'll make it 1st and 5 down at the 30-yard line. Rick Chase wide to the right. Michael James to the left now. Tight end is set at the right side of the line for Washington State. Motion James through to the right side. Here's the snap. Blunt rolling back to the right. He sets up, throws to the sidelines. Diving catch near the 25-yard line. Michael James, but I think he's just short of a first down. James took that one down just about to the 25-yard line while diving to make the catch. And about a 5-yard passing gain for Ed Blunt on that play.
Michael James has really made 2 nice catches. Both those passes were a little bit behind him. He was able to get both feet in bounds, but he stretched out, pulled that ball in. He has looked excellent here in the first quarter.
Second down, about the length of the football to go for the first down, just outside the 25-yard line. Victor Wood will go to the right. Mark Bircher out to the left for Washington State. The offensive line, Ken Kuiper is at left tackle. Ian Lindner at left guard. Alan Boatman at center. Mike Utley, Chris Dyko the right side. The tight end is Mel Orchard. Here's the handoff deep to Tingstead. Up the middle he goes, has the first down as he went to the 23-yard line. Ed Tingstead down to the 23-yard line, picks up 2 yards and another Cougar first down. So each team in its initial possession and drive has had 3 first downs. The Cougars right now at the 23-yard line.
That's the thing about a team with great team speed. Sometimes they over pursue. They'll fly out of there. That was just a design late draw. Tingstead ran into Blunt, or he might have had a few more yards on top of that.
Cotton Sears wide to the left, Kittrick Taylor right, split backs Porter and Tingstead. The signal's called by Ed Blunt, tight end to the right. Here's Blunt faking the handoff, pitch to Tingstead, left side, hit as he swings around to the corner to the 21-yard line. Ed Tingstead picks up 2 more down to the 21 for Washington State. And so the Cougars move that ball. It was Chuck Cecil who came up from the secondary to make the stop.
Very nice tackle by Cecil. He had a lot of room he had to guard from. He kept that hip down and really exploded into Tingstead, knocked him down for a 2-yard gain.
So the Cougars 2nd down and 8 now at the 21-yard line. Ball near the middle of the field in respect to the sidelines. James out of the backfield in motion to the left. Backpedaling goes Blunt, sets up, throws over the middle. Tip caught by Victor Wood inside the 10 down to the 6-yard line. That was a bullet pass from Ed Blunt that was tipped by a linebacker, and Victor Wood stayed right with it. He walked on and took that ball to the 6-yard line where it's 1st and goal.
Then the little camper, the little guy is only 5'9", 166 pounds, broke a couple tackles, picked up another 5 on it.
Cougars at the 6 now with a 1st and goal. Cotton Sears to the left. Mark Bircher out to the right side, split backs in the backfield. The count, Blunt with the ball, hands it away. Tingstead hurdling into the right side down to the 4. So Ed Tingstead, another gain of approximately 2 yards. He is the tough inside runner for the moment, and Kerry Porter got his big gain on the outside on the option pitch. But 2 more yards for Tingstead, that's to the 4-yard line. And the Cougars continue this drive that started with the interception by Kevin Thomas in his 5th of the year back at the 14-yard line. Cougars out with 2 receivers to the right side. Taylor, James in the slot inside him. Split backs, Tingstead and Porter. Blunt turn, pitch to Porter, runs right, drives to the goal line, not across. He's down just inside the 1, it looks like, from up here. He tried to run over the blocking of Ian Lindner on the right side. Lindner pulled out from the left guard across in front of him, and he kind of ran up over Lindner and put him down at the 1-yard line.
Arizona's a very tough defense to try to stretch across the field. They're tough up the middle. I would not be surprised to see a little play action pass, maybe a rollout action option to run or pass here.
So from the 1 on 3rd and goal, right in front of the goalpost, split backs. Cougars 2 receivers right, Blunt runs left, cuts it back against the flow, put his head down, burrowed into the pile, and they've not signaled yet. And the officials are not going to give us a touchdown signal. They stopped him just short. It's 4th down.
They're going to go for it.
Now here comes the kicking team. Here comes Marvin Adams, or Kevin Adams, I'm sorry, into the ball game, and Tim Scholes, the kicking center, is coming in.
Well, nothing wrong with that. You're up against an excellent defensive team. The concept here is to get points on the board. Score first, score early, and score often.
So the Cougars took that one from the 14 to the 1-foot line. They went 85 yards and 2 feet on the drive, and the field goal unit is in. No, they're going to make the change now. There goes Adams out again. Perhaps trying to catch Arizona in the switch here. But now here come the Cougars with Ed Blunt back in the ball game. Adams came on, so did Scholes, then they left. Cougars 2 receivers to the right. Arizona, too many men on the field, will take a timeout. No score in the Pac-10 football game here at Pullman this afternoon, but the Washington State Cougars have a 4th and goal about 6 inches away from the goal line. By the way, Paul, that timeout charge to Washington State. Here they come out of the huddle. Over the ball at center, Allen Bootman, they'll go for it. Tingstead and Porter, the running backs. Ed Blunt at quarterback. Motion through the backfield left to right by Kittrick Taylor. It is a quarterback dive over the top. Did he make it? There's no signal yet. Arizona may have held. Let's wait and see. The officials say no. They're stopping the clock. They're going to confer now. And it's Arizona's ball. They say the Cougars did not make it from 6 inches away. Almost an unbelievable miss as Washington State tried for it, but they leave Arizona in impossible field position. We're going to look at the replay right now, and I see what maybe happened. Blunt didn't have the ball.
He fumbled the ball.
He mishandled the snap. He got it up over the line, but he didn't have it when he was up there, and as a result, it was an excellent call by the officials.
Well, I think very nice job, but I thought he had gotten his body over the end zone, but I guess he was showing the instant replay. The ball was behind him. Nice call.
So the Cougars on defense, Arizona will now work from their own 1-foot line, and Crouch, the quarterback, just takes the ball and sneaks straight ahead as they start inside the 1, just looking for a little running room now to get out of there and perhaps do some punting, give them some operating space. Everybody lined up in the backfield. The quarterback this afternoon, first start, is Andy Crouch, which is ironic because the man he replaced today, Alfred Jenkins, made his first big appearance here several years ago, right on this stadium turf, and led his team to a victory.
Well, Tunnicliffe went down. Jenkins came in, really had a great game. I think that was a 45-6 game for Arizona.
That was one of those days when you said, I think the biggest thing happened to Arizona was their #1 quarterback got hurt. All right, here's motion through their backfield left to right now. Here's the turn, the handoff to the tailback. Adams squirts through on the left side out to the 4-yard line. So Adams picks up about 3 as he moves that ball out on the left side. He's a little guy, and he's a worker. He just keeps on carrying that ball. It's 52 yards in the first quarter. Motion through to the right side with the wide receiver. The handoff, Adams off the right side. No, he fakes. Crouch throws deep over the middle. Caught at the 35-yard line, and out to the 39-yard line goes John Horton. Horton was the man in motion. Crouch did an excellent fake, and Horton caught that ball. He's up limping, but he took it to the 38-yard line. That is a 34-yard passing gain and a first down.
Jimmy Burrows is going to be jumping on some defensive backs that time. You got to get that run pass read. Blew right by both safeties there all the way down the field. Nice pass by Crouch, and that's the play action that Washington State was afraid they're going to use. They did. Big play.
First down, nothing. Here is Crouch now handing to Adams. They go back to the staple. He's caught behind the line. Looks like Rob Cleveland who got him and was. Cleveland, the senior defensive lineman from Bakersfield, 6'4", 240, made the stop on David Adams, a yard loss back to the 37-yard line as he tried the left side. That is the first loss for David Adams. He's now carried the ball for a total net of 51. And it's second down 11 at the 37 for the Arizona Wildcats. Chris McLemore out of the ballgame. Charles Webb comes in at fullback, a junior from Compton, California. Crouch, the quarterback, a senior. With the ball, pitch back, Adams running left on a block around the corner at the 40 and bumped out of bounds up around the 44 or 45. As he came to the corner, got a good block on the lead from Charles Webb, the new fullback, who took the corner for the Cougars defensively and rode him out. And the play will carry to the 45-yard line, so an 8-yard run that time for the little tailback Adams. He goes 8 on his 10th carry. Lewis will go wide for the Arizona Wildcats. The I formation once again. Adams the tailback. Andy Crouch from the 45-yard line at quarterback, third down. Here's the pitch to Adams with a blocker in front, getting around the corner at the 45, and is short of a first down as he got out to about the 48-yard line. He had to go to near the 49. See how far he did go that time as he went around the right side. They will put him down on the 48. And so a gain of 3 that time on the play for Adams on his 11th carry of the game already here in the first quarter. And on comes the punting team now for the University of Arizona Wildcats. That's Ruben Rodriguez, averaging 41.6 yards a kick.
But Arizona did their job. They were able to get off that 1 yard line, and now they're going to pin Washington State back in their own territory. They're going to have to drive 85 or 90 yards for a score. Nice offensive series for Arizona.
It was not only a nice one, it was a very key one, because it got them out of trouble that they might have been in the rest of the afternoon if they'd not gotten out of there. All right, they're ready with Kittrick Taylor back, and here's a penalty marker, apparently too much time. As the flags fly, they have taken too much time getting it underway, and with 2:09 remaining to play in the first quarter, they're going to take that one back to the 43. All right, we're ready. Rodriguez to kick. Good snap back, rush from the outside, left-footed kick, gets it up in the air, but not much of a kick. Taylor coming forward, fair catch signal, takes it right on the 30-yard line. So Kittrick Taylor at the 30, and the Cougars came out a bit better, Paul, than they might have on that.
Boy, they had the block on all the way. Washington State was going for that. Ronnie Collins nearly got it. Kittrick did a nice thing. He moved up about 13 yards on that. Fair caught the ball and caught it on the 30. Now, had he let that bounce, that could have gone a long way against Washington State. Very heads-up play for Kittrick Taylor.
They're going to give him the ball on the 31 because that's actually where the ball was. His feet were on the 30, and they'll put it about the 30 and a half. So the Cougars ready to go to work now from their 31-yard line. No score in the first quarter. Moving right along. Line set and down. Here's the handoff fake. Pitch back on the right side quarter. Right corner to the 33-yard line. Then hit and hammered back. Linebacker coming in first, Byron Evans. And safety man Chuck Cecil. So two key defensive performers for Arizona at the 33-yard line of Washington State, and a 2-yard gain for Kerry Porter as he carries the ball for the fourth time and has gained 41 yards. But there's no score as we go to a minute and a half remaining in the first period, and the Cougars send in 4 new receivers, including tight end Mel Orchard from Evanston, Wyoming. And out of there goes Ed Tingstead. Did they send in those 4 to replace Ed?
I don't know, but there's a lot of 18 bodies on the field now.
I didn't see all those other people leave. Wide men both ways. Out of the backfield, Kittrick Taylor to the right side in motion. Back goes Blunt, no fake to pass. Sets up, good protection. Throw left side, knocked down. Almost intercepted by Arizona as they had a defender, Boomer Gibson, diving for that ball. They're at their own 33 on the right hash. Blunt with the ball, straight drop back. Looks upfield, throws to the right sideline. James caught the ball, great catch. Out of bounds at the 44-yard line of Arizona. Michael James on a superb leaping catch, got 1 foot down, that's all he needs at the Arizona 44-yard line.
Great pass by Ed Blunt. He threw that ball right over number 22, Eugene Hardy, the free safety, who came over, thought he had a sure interception. Ed just floated it up over there. James has had 3 crucial catches here in the first quarter, came down with it. Nice job.
Cougars 4 for 5 through the air, 2 for first downs, and that one from Ed Blunt went 23 yards to Michael James. First down, no score in the ball game. Blunt sets him at the 44. Here's Blunt with the ball now, fakes the handoff, drops back, ball slapped away, but recovered by Kerry Porter on the 48-yard line. That ball was stripped out of there that time by Brent Wood. Brent Wood, a linebacker from Phoenix, a 215-pounder, shot through. And when Porter seemed to get tangled up a bit on his teammates behind the line of scrimmage there, had to pull a foot out of the way from a tackler. He went back, but the timing of the play was broken, and the ball was slapped out of his hand. A 4-yard loss on that one, and the Cougar offense is at exactly 100 yards. Arizona at 95 in this first quarter. And we're almost through. Motion, James out to the left side. Backpedaling, goes Blunt, sets up. Over the middle, diving try Sears. He has the ball, and it is a catch at the 37-yard line. Cotton Sears with a defender riding on his back. Martin Rudolph slid to the ball that time and made the catch down at the 37-yard line. That's an 11-yard passing gain for Washington State, and it's third down. Out of there they come now. Cougars with the ball, time running down, and runs out in the first quarter. So at the end of the first period, at the end of 1 quarter, there's no score. It is Washington State nothing, Arizona nothing. For the Cougars at the 37-yard line of Arizona, it is third down and 3. Alan Boatman from Kettle Falls over the ball. Ed Blunt checking off at the line of scrimmage. Now Rick Chase in motion, left to right through the formation. Rolling right behind him goes Blunt. Ducks away from one tackler, runs it upfield. 35 and hit hard as he went down at the 32. Ed Blunt got buried that time as he went down and took a helmet in the midriff from James DeBow. A cornerback, 195-pounder from San Bernardino, California.
Boy, DeBow humbled him on that one, but nice run by Blunt. Good blocking out there by Kerry Porter. Took out the defensive end, allowed Ed to kind of scoot back up the inside. That ankle didn't look sore. He had good quickness that time.
So it is a first down for Washington State. They're fourth on the ground, sixth overall. No score early second quarter. Cougars ready at the 32-yard line. Split backs behind Blunt. Steps right, hands the ball away to Porter. Spun away from a tackler. Fights to the 31 and then falls forward near the 30. So Kerry Porter, a couple of very, very difficult yards to pick up. But he got there down to near the 30-yard line. So Kerry picks up 2, and the Cougars will be second down and a long 8 to go. And Kerry Porter on 5 carries has now gone 43 yards in this ballgame, a bit better than 8 yards a carry. One of them, of course, 35 yards on the very fine bounce on the pitch out on the option run. Now from the 30 at the right hash mark. Cougars with the ball. Blunt takes the snap, rolls left, being chased, being caught, slipped away. 35-30, throws the ball to Victor Wood at the 19. He's got it there, he's hit, he's down, and the Cougars have another first down. As Ed Blunt slipped away, he was caught behind the line and got the ball away to Victor Wood, coming back to meet him to help out down at the 19-yard line, and the 11-yard gain and a first down.
That play was made by Ed Blunt all the way. He rolled out to his left side. He was looking for Kittrick Taylor down the left sidelines. He was running it out. Kittrick was covered. Wood circled back inside. He threw the ball back across the field. Wood caught it first down on the ball with the ball in the 19. Nice job by Ed.
Ed Tingstead, the running back, goes out, leaving only Kerry Porter in the backfield. Tight end Mel Orchard to the left. 3 receivers in. They'll all be on the right side as James goes in motion left to right. Here's the draw to Porter up the middle. He slipped a bit getting out of the blocks and got maybe a yard on the play. And the lead tackler was Byron Evans, who has made 138 tackles for the Arizona Wildcats coming into this ball game this afternoon.
Well, last year he made 189 tackles, and he's on his way of breaking that. He's averaging about 20, 22 tackles a game. That's a lot. That's not standing around killing grass, even if it's artificial.
Well, Jim Walden had nothing but good words for the young man, even though he's an opponent this afternoon. He talked about him as being perhaps the best in the conference. All right, the Cougars ready now at the 18-yard line. Through in motion, Taylor to the right side. Back to pass goes Blunt, sets up. He is hit, the ball flies in the air, it is loose. They say it's an incomplete pass. They rule that his arm was started forward. It was an incomplete pass. And so all the scrambling for the loose ball won't count. Well, I'll tell you, Paul, I think the Arizona Wildcats are not going to be happy about that decision.
No, it looked like he wasn't coming forward at all. He had his arm cocked back all the way. He was looking to pass that ball. Well, instant replay showed it different. It showed it like he was just starting to come forward when he got hammered. But thank you for that call, official.
I thought he was hit and then tried to get rid of it.
There'll be a wheat donation in the mail here any day.
Yeah, right. This is the Wheat Bowl game anyway, so why not? Ball is still just outside the 18-yard line. Third down, about 9.5 yards to go. Motion toward the formation from the right by James. Back goes Blunt, sets up, over the middle, high and deep, incomplete. Knocked down at the goal line that time. Intended for Michael James, and Martin Rudolph, a senior from Harbor City, California, went diving to knock that down one-handed. That was a one-handed save by Rudolph, and they'll bring the ball back out to the 18-yard line. It's field goal time for Washington State.
Ed kind of threw that one off his back foot, just kind of floated it out there. If he had any zip on that, James might have had a chance for a touchdown.
It's going to be Nick Obrastoff kicking the extra point. They'll put the tee just outside the 25-yard line. A field goal by Obrastoff. The snap. Here's the kick by the kickoff specialist up, and it hooks to the left is wide. No good. And so Arizona has held. They get the ball back. And they'll take it at the 20-yard line as Nick Obrastoff came in instead of Kevin Adams. Now, it's interesting. Adams did come out to get ready for the field goal. It was not tried earlier. And now Obrastoff comes out in this one from out there at the 24-yard line. Arizona set. Cougars, 4 down linemen. Here's the handoff. Tailback. Adams, big hole up the middle on the trap. 25 outside to the 30. 35, 40, 45. Tripped up from behind. Ricky Reynolds diving to shoestring him, and he still kept stumbling forward and finally went down at the Cougar 47-yard line. He went all the way to the Cougar 47. A 33-yard run that time by David Adams. 33 on a dozen carries. He has gone 95 yards.
Boy, he's just very explosive. Great blocking up front for Arizona. They just blew the Cougars aside that time. Adams took it and then skirted out to the right side. Ricky had to dive for that or he'd have been in some real trouble.
So Adams, who averages 106.6 yards a game, continues to run that ball well, explosively. I formation now. Crouch, the quarterback, sets the team. Motion through from right to left. Handoff fake. They messed that one up in the backfield. That was a broken play as the motion man, Derek Hill, ran into the running back, Chris McLemore, and Maury Metcalf then wound up in the middle of the whole thing and threw it for a loss back to the 50-yard line.
That was just mass confusion for Arizona. I thought they were offsides. It looked like they had launched on the left side.
I formation. McLemore in front of David Adams. Check it, not David Adams now. Art Greathouse at tailback. Quarterback Crouch drops back. Going to run to the right side, flushed out at the 50, 45, spins to the 40 to the 39, and is very close to a first down, about a yard short, as he got a shoulder pad in the mouth from Mark Ledbetter, and Brian Ford was also there, and they're going to put him down at the 40-yard line. So it is a 10-yard run for Crouch, but that's not enough for a first down.
Well, that was nice pressure again by the Cougars as they came in around the right side. Crouch was just flushed out of the pocket, came back up there. He was really punished, but looked like the Cougar defense hit themselves harder than they hit Couch.
By the way, Art Greathouse, the young man who just came into the ballgame to play at tailback, replacing Adams, is a 5'11", 200-pound freshman from Tempe, Arizona, and his dad was an All-American running back. Signals called. Crouch sends a man in motion. Derek Hill through to the left side. Two men at the left now. Long count. Handoff to the fullback. Bangs it on through. McLemore down to the 35, and that's a first down. McLemore carried that ball and went just straight up the middle that time. Pure power, the blocking in the middle. Bob Gregory in on the tackle, and now will leave the game. And so the ball to the 35-yard line. And with that 5-yard advance, it's a first down for Arizona. They're 5th on the ground. They're 6th overall.
That time the Cougar defense just over pursued that. McLemore cut it back across the grain. Bob had to make the touchdown-saving tackle.
And this is a hard-hitting, tough, nothing ball game in the second quarter. I formation, two receivers left. Crouch to the tailback. Greathouse hurdles into the line. Got a couple, maybe three, before he is hit and rolled back by a bunch of Cougars led by Brian Ford. Ford, the first man. Alapate was there. Chris Hiller was there. And they stopped it up after a gain down to the 33-yard line. So a 2-yard advance. 2 yards for Art Greathouse, the tailback. David Adams out of the ball game. As they got him out, I think just to give him a rest. I don't see him being treated on the sidelines. There are a couple of players having work done on tape and such, but I don't see Adams down there. Greathouse still at tailback. Signals called by Crouch once again, the quarterback. The turn, pitch, Greathouse running right, got a block on the corner at the 30, and down to the 25-yard line, very close to a first down. And over was Tunao Alapate, and also Maury Metcalf. Rob Cleveland was there, and I think they're going to bring the chains all the way across from the far side to measure this, as Greathouse carried the ball down to the 25-yard line. That would be an 8-yard gain. Arizona, 150 yards of offense. Washington State, 130 yards of offense. Here's motion through right to left by Fairholm now. I formation. Adams back in at tailback, gets the ball, runs left. There's a hole. He's at the 20. He's down inside to about the 17, perhaps the 16, and tackled finally by Ivan Cook for Washington State. Ivan Cook was the man who got him down. Artie Holmes was also there, and so was Mark Ledbetter. But the gain will take the ball down, it looks like, close to the 16-yard line.
That's just a nice run. Adams is really doing a nice job of picking himself holes off the offside out there. And what they're trying to do is motion people across to pull the Cougar defense out a little bit. Adams then takes that and cuts it back inside.
So the ball just outside the 16. Adams already at 104 yards in this game, and we're not to the midpoint of the second quarter. Here's the pitch back to Adams. He's going to run to the right side. He's at the 15 for the first down. He's down to about the 12-yard line running the right side. That time, instead of blowing, he came showing. He was picking his way through. Brian Ford was there. Mark Ledbetter was there for Washington State, and Artie Holmes on that tackle, but at the 12-yard line. So another 4-yard gain for the Arizona Wildcat tailback. He has now carried the ball 14 times for 108 yards, and we're still midway through the second quarter in this football game.
Well, that means he can sit down now because he averages 106 a game, so he's 2 over his average time to sit down.
Probably ate too much at breakfast. They're trying to run it off. Here's motion by Fairholm through to the left side, followed by Ricky Reynolds. Here's the handoff. It's Adams. Guess who dives into the middle? He's at the 10, maybe the 9-yard line. Adams on the carry once again. We may not have made this clear, but Adams was packing that football and taking all that pounding. 5 feet 6 inches tall, 167 pounds.
But in the season he started, he was 6'4", 220, so it tells you the kind of competition he's been facing all along. That was a strong safety blitz by Ronnie Lee that time, nearly caught Adams in the backfield. He used good quickness to get up there and get any yards that he could find.
He is at the 9. Actually, the ball nosed across the 9. And it is a second down for Arizona. Motion through to the left side, takes Reynolds with it. Now the quarterback pitches to Adams, threw it right by him. He picked it up at the 20, fakes the pass, ran by a man, and out of bounds at the 15-yard line. Now, Adams, by picking up that ball, I think is going to wind up with a loss, and I'm going to have to check on that statistically. It was not his fault. He ran back, and for the moment, I am not going to charge him personally with a loss because the quarterback simply threw it over his head.
Well, that's very nice of you, but he did touch it, so he ended up picking up the ball. But good heads-up play by Adams. He faked somebody out just by showing past. The guy went up, tried to block it, and he scooted right around him. Nice play by him to avoid any more lost yardage than he had.
He turned a big loss into only a 6-yard setback. The ball is back at the 15-yard line. And so here come the Wildcats out of the huddle once again. Third down now at the Cougar 15. They have about 12 yards to go. Here's Crouch back to pass. Stands in the pocket. Now chased out. He's at the 15, the 10. Hit from behind and falls inside the 5. Ivan Cook was the man who caught up with him and dropped him at the 4-yard line. That is short of a first down if that's where they give him on forward progress. And let's see where they do spot the ball. They might put it down right on the 5 and say that he skidded that last yard. And that's about what they do. It's at the 5, so a 10-yard gain. And it will now be fourth down, and it looks like the field goal team will come on.
Take into account, this has not been an easy gimme for anybody. Washington State has blocked oodles of field goals all year round. In fact, they have the best field goal block percentage in the conference.
And here's kicker Gary Kostin into the ball game. He's 23 for 23 extra points, 17 for 18 field goals. The kick is up. It is no good. It broke his string of 12 in a row that broke the record of Max Zendejas. He hooked it to the left from the 12-yard line.
I wonder if there's a voodoo man standing down there in the corner, because Washington State, even if they have not blocked it, the field goal people against the Cougars have been terrible. I think there's something like 3 of 14 on attempted field goals, and that includes blocks.
7:17 to go in the first half, and the ball fumbled on the snap, but I think Arizona was offside. Ed Blunt mishandled the ball on the snap from Alan Boatman, fell on it himself right at the line of scrimmage, lost about the length of the football. And now there's a flag down at the far side, and Arizona may have been offside.
They were.
So we'll get the signal now from Jim Springer. Now he's not going to signal. He's just going to walk it off, and then he'll tell us.
It's too cold. He doesn't want to waste any motion out there. He just picks it up and walks up the field.
I think Jimmy's of the mind, let's get this over with.
It's been a quick game, though, really, when you think about it. Anyway.
Quarterback Ed Blunt, full spin, runs to the left. The corner opens for a moment. He's grabbed from behind and dragged down finally as he picked up about 3. Linebacker Brent Wood got him around the waist at about the 28-yard line. So a gain of 3 by Ed Blunt on the run, and coupled with a 5-yard offside penalty, it is now second down and a short 2 to go with 6:36 remaining in the first half. Cougars have a long march ahead of them to try to score before halftime, but they do have enough time, plenty of time, 6.5 minutes. They're ready again. Boatman over the ball. Blunt, the quarterback, split backs behind him. Motion, James through the formation left to right. Now Blunt goes left, hands off to Porter, trying to get the first down on a straight-ahead surge, and he has it. Kerry Porter pushes the ball across the 30-yard line, just nose across, but that's all he had to do because they started at the 20 following the touchback. And so it'll be a first down for Washington State with Porter picking up 2 to the 30-yard line. Kerry, with those 2 yards, has 46 yards, but his last 5 carries are 3, 2, 2, 1, and 2.
Well, needless to say, Arizona's really knuckling down on that rushing attack. They're a tough defense. I mean, they really fly to the ball. They were doing warm-ups before the game. Coach would start on one side of the field, run to the other side, and they'd have all 11 there in about 2 seconds. That's cooking.
They are a speedy football club, and that, of course, is the trademark usually of teams from down in the desert country. A lot of quickness. Wood in motion to the right, draw to Porter. Nothing in the middle as he tried to battle his way through, and he's grabbed. He may have struggled for a yard on second effort. Those 2 inside linebackers, Wood and Byron Evans, and defensive end Jim Birmingham there to make the stop. Birmingham, who normally plays defensive end, is playing at the nose guard right now in the middle. He also plays there, and he made his contact from there at the 31-yard line.
Well, the Cougars have gotten a little bit conservative here in this drive. Sure, it's only 3 plays, but remember, they started out their last couple drives passing on first down.
So now they come to second down and 9 at the 31. And Blunt sets the team now, reaches in for the snap, split backs behind him, fakes the handoff, gives the handoff again to Kerry Porter, and again there's not much there as Porter tries to blast in on the left side behind Ken Kuiper and Ian Lindner, and they just ran into too many white uniforms that time. And there's a bit of an argument going on the sidelines. Arizona claiming that there was some late blocking downfield by Washington State. Gain of 1 to the 32.
It looked like Kittrick Taylor and James DeBow were mixing it up on the Wildcat sidelines there.
So the ball at the 32, third down and 8 now. Wide men both ways. Here's the turn. Blunt going to keep the ball. Rolls to the right side. It's open on the corner. 35. Close to a first down as he got to the 40, 41, but there's a flag down. There's a penalty marker down way back behind the play. Blunt took the ball and rolled to the right, diving close to a first down out around the 40 or 41-yard line in front of the Cougar bench. I would say he's about a half a yard short, but the flag is behind the play, way back around the 32-yard line.
I think they're going to bring that back. That looked like holding all the way.
Holding it is, signaled by Jimmy Springer, the referee. They must go to the 41, so it will now be third down over, but 19 yards to go. Third and 19 for Washington State. And Arizona playing for the pass now with a deep center fielder way back, Eugene Hardy, the safety man. Signals called by Blunt, checking off at the line of scrimmage at the 22. Split backs behind him with the ball. Straight back drop. Rushes on. He's caught behind the line. Got away from one. They're still pursuing. He got a block. Runs left. Throws for Taylor. Intercepted inside the 25-yard line by James DeBow. So Blunt scrambling for his life. Threw the ball to the left sidelines looking for Kittrick Taylor, and cornerback James DeBow stepped in front and intercepted that pass, and now it's Arizona in great field position at the 23-yard line.
Credit that interception really with the Arizona defensive line. They really pushed Ed back. Play action pass all the way. He tried to throw that off his back foot. DeBow just stepped right in front of the pass. Arizona's got great field position on the 24.
It was the rush. They really pressured him, and he probably should not have thrown the ball. Should have thrown it out of bounds of it all, but he threw it, and it was intercepted from the 23. It's Adams, big hole at the 15, the 10, and down to around the 8-yard line. David Adams, a quick little 5'6" tailback, took the advantage of that huge gaping hole opened up by the offensive left side for the Arizona Wildcats, and took the ball down. They will put it on the 9-yard line. So he went from the 23 down to the 9, a 14-yard run. Again for David Adams. That is his 16th carry, 125 yards so far in this ball game, and a first down for the Arizona Wildcats. First down and goal now from the 9. High formation. Adams again fakes in. Bounced off a tackler, but he's not going anywhere. Ronnie Lee has him wrapped up, and they'll stack him up right at the line of scrimmage at the 9-yard line. He might have lost a little bit as he started to the outside and got headed off by Metcalf. And then he ducked inside. Lee grabbed him, and he got back to the 9 before they got him stopped.
Again, Washington State starting to gamble here on first down. They're blitzing the strong safety. That's the second consecutive series. The Cougars did that. Lee came in, tried to strip the ball away from Adams. Unfortunately, it was not successful, but it's still 2nd and 9.
3:17 to go here in the second quarter. We haven't had a timeout in this quarter yet. We're going to be doing nothing but commercials at halftime. Stay with us. I formation now. Adams, the tailback. Long count by Crouch, the quarterback. Pitch to Adams. Running left with a fullback blocking. Got the block. Climbs over the pile and down to about the 5, maybe the 6-yard line, and went down inbounds. Adams at around the 6 for about a 3-yard gain that time. And they just keep giving him the ball. And as we pointed out last week, John McKay said it's not heavy. Just let him carry it. But I'll tell you, when you're 5'6" and 167, the combination of you and the ball are not heavy.
Very nice play by Sean Landrum. He came in and took out 2 Arizona blockers, forced Adams. Looks like he's limping off the field here.
Maybe the legs wore out.
He's starting to cramp up already.
He got bumped pretty well.
He really did.
So he comes to the sidelines. Good news for the Cougars, except that Art Greathouse now comes in to play a tailback, 5'11", 200-pounder with the ball down at the 6-yard line of Washington State. Third and goal from there. Ball on the left hash. 2 men to the wide side right. Crouch, the quarterback, sets him in the eye. Long count, McLemore in front of Greathouse. Here's the handoff, Greathouse on the right. Hurdles through, touchdown, Arizona. So the tailback, the reserve, Art Greathouse, the replacement, through to score from the 6-yard line for the University of Arizona, and they take the lead in this football game, 6-0 with 2:21 left to play in the first half. Greathouse, a 6-yard run. They will try the extra point now with Gary Costin doing the kicking. Costin is 23 for 23 for the season so far, extra points. They'll put it on the 10-yard line on the tee. The snap, the spot. The kick is up. Ricky Reynolds almost got there, but he boots it through. And so with 2:21 to go in the first half, it is Arizona 7, Washington State nothing. Hasty back for Washington State. Here's the run. And the kick end over end, going to be a long one back into the end zone. That's Michael James back there. James lets it go over his head, and the ball goes into the end zone and on through out to the 20-yard line on the touchback.
Well, that was a 4-play, 23-yard drive, ate up 1 minute, 57 seconds, culminating the Great House 6-yard scamper. But that was set up by a James DeBow interception. Cougars are 1-1 in terms of turnovers.
Well, it's interesting how a game like this that was being so well played, how just one break can turn it, and that's exactly what has happened now. Arizona has the lead, and unless the Cougars can come flying back, they'll take it into the locker room. Only Kerry Porter in the backfield, 3 receivers, and they'll all be on the right as Rick Chase goes through in motion. Pitch to Porter, high pitch, and he's hit behind the line, and down he goes. Kerry Porter taking what was a bad pitch that time and was run down by defensive lineman George Hinkle, who was right there to wrap him up and put him down at the 18-yard line. Kerry Porter, not really his fault, but he did get the ball and get underway. He's gained 46 in the game, but 35 of it on one play. Taylor in motion out to the left. Back goes Blunt to throw to the left side for Cotton Sears at the 30. Got it there, fights his way to the 35, and has a Cougar first down. 17-yard gain for Washington State on the Ed Blunt to Cotton Sears forward pass. And so the Cougars pick up a first down. They are now 7 for 11 and 4 of them for first down.
Well, Ed is really throwing nice. If he has time to throw, he's been very effective. That again was another deep post to Cotton. He caught it, nearly broke a tackle.
7-0 Arizona. Cougars trying to get something going here before halftime. 1:22 to go. Back goes Blunt again to set up in the pocket. Throws right side. That is caught by Michael James at the 40 out to the 42-yard line. James caught around the ankles that time by Chuck Cecil, the safety man, who dragged him down at the 42, but that's a 7-yard gain with 1:06 left to play here in the half. 7-yard passing gain. 96 yards for Blunt now through the air for Washington State. 2nd down and 3. Split backs. Motion from right to left through the formation by Kittrick Taylor. Pitch right now to Kerry Porter. Porter got the corner, got the first down. He's out around the 47 or 8-yard line. Kerry Porter on the run, tackled by James DeBow. Arizona 7, Washington State nothing. Cougars with the ball, first down at their own 48-yard line after the Kerry Porter 6-yard run. Split backs behind Ed Blunt with the ball. He goes back, fakes the draw, sets up deep, steps up, got hit as he throws, and it's incomplete downfield at the 35-yard line of Arizona. Kittrick Taylor went diving for the ball, but Blunt was hit by an on-rushing lineman. I think it was George Hinkle just as he started the release, and it flew incomplete.
Well, Hinkle did a great job. He came in from his defensive tackle position. He's 6'6", 268. He just got all of that weight into Blunt. He had a kid open across the middle about 20 yards deep. He just threw it incomplete.
So the ball is at the 48-yard line still. 2nd down and 10. We're down to 42 seconds to go in the first half. Ed Tingstead goes out of the ball game. Extra receivers coming in now. They'll have a tight end on the right. And getting set in the backfield now with Rick Chase, a running back. He'll come out in motion to the left side, leaving Porter. Backpedaling goes Blunt. Throws left side. Sears at the 40. 35 down near the 33-yard line. Cotton Sears, a graduate of Pullman High School, caught that ball in full flight at the 40, went down at the 33-yard line. That is a 15-yard passing gain for Ed Blunt and the Cougars. And here they come hurriedly out of that huddle, ready to go once again. 5th first down passing. Start the clock, says the referee. Back goes Blunt, throw left side. Chase has it, 25, 20, at the 15. They thought he was going to run out of bounds and he ran right by. Down to the 14-yard line. They went to the 14-yard line. That's a 19-yard passing gain for Washington State, and the Cougar offense is at even 200 yards for the first half.
And that's what we talked about. Washington State came out in a no-huddle offense last year against Arizona. They've done the same thing. That was a blown defense in the secondary for Arizona. Chase was very smart. Instead of stepping out of bounds, he scooted right up the sidelines. He picked up about another 12 yards on it. Cougars are in easy field goal position here, but they want a touchdown.
They do at the 14-yard line, and out of the huddle they come. Stallworth short side to the left. Kittrick Taylor, Michael James out to the right. Blunt with Kerry Porter behind him in the backfield. Signals called. Back he goes. Sets up deep. Throws to the right side in the end zone and is intercepted. Ball picked off by Martin Rudolph. Rudolph picked off the pass intended for James, who had gone down, curled to the outside, and the ball was a bit underthrown, and Rudolph got there to pick it off.
Just credit great defensive coverage that time by Rudolph. They were in a zone coverage there. He'd shown he was going to jump the out pattern. Blunt saw it. He made the right read. Unfortunately, he threw it just a little bit too soft. Rudolph bounced back in there underneath Kittrick's coverage. Interception, second big interception of the day for Arizona. They dodge a bullet here with 25 seconds to go.
Well, the interceptions have been the big story in the first half. The first one set up the touchdown at the 23-yard line at the Cougar end, and that one stopped a good Cougar drive here just before halftime with 25 seconds to go. So now quarterback Andy Crouch has the option of running out the clock if he desires at his own 20. Let's see if he does. I formation. He's going to run a play. Hands off to Greathouse, the tailback at the right side. 20-25 to the 29-yard line. So Art Greathouse picks up 9 yards on the play, and the Arizona Wildcats go to 202 yards of first half offense. And they are at 2nd and 1 with the clock ticking down. That's likely the last play of the first half. It's down to 2 to 1, and time runs out. The first half is over here in the sunshine at Martin Stadium in Pullman. The score at halftime, Arizona, the University of Arizona Wildcats 7, the Washington State University Cougars nothing. Well, back here at Martin Stadium, it is beginning to get a little chilly now this afternoon. The wind is beginning to whip in from the west. That is from left to right, from the west to the horseshoe closed end at the east. The sun is beginning to drop down behind the stadium and the shadows lengthen, and you better believe it's getting a little nippy down on the sidelines. They do have some of those blowers down there, those heater blowers that pump heat along from each end of the benches, but those perhaps are not very effective unless you're grouped right around the business end of one of them. Arizona will kick it off. It'll be Jeff Valder kicking the ball off for the Wildcats, and back deep Michael James on the goal line. Here's the run up and the kick. It is a long kind of floating kick. James in the end zone caught it over his shoulder, and Reed back there says, let's just stay in the end zone, and so they do, and the ball will come out to the 20-yard line. So it'll be Washington State's ball to open the second half, 7-0, with the only touchdown in the first half on a 6-yard run by tailback Art Greathouse, capping a 23-yard drive following an interception by the Arizona Wildcats.
Well, we heard a shocker of a score in the second quarter. Oregon State 6, the University of Washington nothing. Ooh, there could be a major league upset going on down in Corvallis.
Well, that would be a major league upset, all right. If it happens that way, it's a long way to go, but it would be major league, as the Huskies know they're out of the Rose Bowl, but they still have an opportunity to go to another bowl game. All right, here we go. First down 10, Cougars at their own 20-yard line, trailing 7-zip early in the second half. First offensive play. Signal is called by Ed Blunt at quarterback. Will step right, give the ball away to Porter, and Kerry gets very little, maybe a yard, as he cracks back over the middle that time for running from right to left. He ran right up over the back of center Alan Boatman and got about a yard on the play.
Well, that time, that was just good defensive surge again by Arizona. They're fired up in that line. Washington State has had not very good success up the middle against Arizona. They've really been working the outside well, but not up the middle.
Kerry in the first half carried 11 times for 52 yards, 37 of it on one play. Now he goes in motion to the right, no back remaining. Back to pass goes Blunt. Got a throw out to the right side. It is knocked down, incomplete. It was delivered to Mel Orchard, who was hit in the back as the ball arrived by free safety Eugene Hardy, a junior from Citrus Heights, California.
That was a sneeze away from pass interference if there ever was one. Good timing by Hardy. He came right in there and just hammered Orchard as he got the ball. Blunt dropped straight back. Really threw a nice pass there, but that was a close one.
So an incomplete pass, and the Cougars once again out now with one running back. Porter goes out. Ed Tingstead is the running back. He'll go in motion to the right. Trips left, set. Back goes Ed Blunt. Sets up in the middle. Lobs to the right. Off the hands of his receiver, Michael James, high in the air and incomplete. The nearest man when it came down, James DeBoe, the cornerback, who almost got there to intercept that one. And so it's punting time for Washington State as Blunt starts the second half 0 for 2.
That's unfortunate. Ed threw a nice pass that time. James just was not able to pull that down. If he had been able to catch it, it would have been a first down for the Cougars.
Derek Hill will go back as the single safety at his own 40, a sophomore from Carson, California. We're ready for the kick now by the Washington State Cougars. Rod Myers He's averaging for the season 40.4. The snap, the rush, they got a piece of it, I think. High floating kick, ball across midfield, taken there by Derek Hill, retreated to his own 45, and Tim Scholes was there, the center who snapped the ball to make the tackle. Paul, I had the impression he might have gotten a piece of that with a great rush in the middle.
Well, I think Boomer Gibson came flying in there from Arizona. He was standing in the end zone of the Cougars, just shaking his head, saying, how did that guy get that ball away? I know I had that thing blocked.
So it'll be Arizona's ball with a 7-0 lead here. Their first possession of the second half, starting at their own 45 on the right hash. Two men split wide to the left. I formation. Here's the handoff to guess who? David Adams. Started left, cut back right, 50, 45, dives to the 41, and Ricky Reynolds got him around the legs and dragged him down. But down at the Cougar 41-yard line. So a 14-yard gain for Adams to start the second half, and he continues to roll it along.
Boy, Adams has just been a thorn in the Cougars' defensive back all day long. Ricky Reynolds did another nice job of tackling him, or he's running for another 20-25 yards.
A cactus burr under the saddle this afternoon,
like that. Bunyan or anything.
All right, I formation. Motion through to the left side by Fairholm, taking Ricky Reynolds with him. Here's the handoff to the tailback. This time, Greathouse spins and kind of runs backwards to the 40, maybe the 39-yard line. Alapate and Cleveland were there to make the tackle for Washington State. See how far they'll give him across the 40-yard line on forward progress. It was Art Greathouse, the freshman, put it on the 40-yard line. So on that play, only 1 yard that time, second down and 9.
And I don't even think it would have been a 1-yard gain, but Alapati knocked him forward on the tackle. They had him in the backfield, spun him forward for a 1-yard gain.
Cougars are playing that 4-down line set now. Cleveland and Ledbetter playing inside. All right, signals called. Motion man goes through to the left side. Nobody goes with him. They rotate in the secondary. Instead, hand off to McLemore, the fullback, and he bangs his way over the 40 down to the 37. It was McLemore, Chris McLemore from Las Vegas, Nevada, who carried the ball for the Arizona Wildcats and took it down to the 37-yard line. That's a 3-yard advance, and for Arizona now, it'll be third down and 6 yards to go.
Big series for the Cougar defense. They have their nickel package in there, their extra defensive backs.
They look for the pass. Arizona has put it up only twice in the game. They've completed one, had one intercepted. Andy Crouch, the new quarterback, started this game his first start. He's a senior. Takes the snap, hands it on the draw to the tailback. Adams, 35, out to the left to the 30, dives down to the 27 as a first down. David Adams, Sean Landrum was there for Washington State. Ronnie Collins, his dad is here watching the game this afternoon, also on hand for the tackle. But at the 27-yard line, a 10-yard gain and another first down.
Well, that time that was just a sprint draw action. Adams saw it, pretty good penetration up the middle by the Cougar defense. He just brought it back inside, then bounced it back outside and picked his 10 yards up on just sheer speed.
Adams 19 for 152 yards in the ball game now. I formation, Adams a tailback behind McLemore, motion through from left to right by Derek Hill. Two men on the right, Crouch to Adams on the fake, drops back, throws the home run ball. It is knocked down by Ronnie Collins in the end zone. Intended for John Horton, one of the wide receivers, who has caught 18 so far this year, 4 of them for touchdowns. Horton sprinted into the end zone, went up. Ronnie Collins went up inside him and sort of yanked the ball down and knocked it away. It was incomplete, and Collins really banged into him as he got one hand on the ball and came up underneath the receiver.
Boy, that was a very nice play. If Crouch would have gone to the outside, Derek Hill, number 82, was wide open in the corner, but he picked the wrong guy. Fortunately for Washington State, he threw it into coverage.
1 for 3 passing now for Andy Crouch. He has the ball. He goes to Adams. That's bread and butter. He bounces off a man at the 25, down to around the 23-yard line. Goes David Adams that time. And the little guy is finally wrestled down as he made that gain. The Cougar defender was Mark Ledbetter, the redshirt freshman from Puyallup High School, played for the Vikings and Mike Heward. Ball to the 23-yard line. That is a 4-yard gain once again for Adams as he continues to move it along. His 20th carry, 156 yards. That's, what, about 7.8 yards a carry. Now Andy Crouch brings the Wildcats out at the Cougar 23, third down. Has the ball, Adams again on the draw, up the middle at the 20, broke at 15, down to the 10-yard line. Artie Holmes rode him down there. At the 10-yard line, another first down. And another outstanding run Little draw that time. Check it, Landrum, not Holmes, who made the tackle. Sean Landrum playing on the corner on the right side.
Well, good penetration by the Cougar defense. Adam just used great speed. Tunialapati and Ford were right in there. Krakowski had a shot at him. Collins had a chance, and Landrum finally threw him down. But that's just excellent speed. You can't teach that. He can run.
And this is a good drive now, starting at their own 45-yard line for the Wildcats, down to the 10-yard line of Washington State. Here's the pitch. It's to the tailback, Greathouse on the left side at the 10. Bounced off Brian Ford down to the 5-yard line. And if you bounce off Brian Ford, you are running hard. And running hard to the sidelines that time went Greathouse. And they'll put him down just shy of the 5, perhaps on the 6-yard line. Call it the 6. So a 4-yard advance for Art Greathouse. A drive that has now consumed some 49 yards and is 6 yards away from culminating in a touchdown. It is second down for the Arizona Wildcats. And I think goal to go. It was very close at the 10-yard line on the first down. I formation, 2 tight end offense, wingback motion to the right, pitch back down to Greathouse, right side looking for the hole, hit by Maury Metcalf and dropped 3-yard loss. Metcalf and Ricky Reynolds. Paul, the Cougars did an excellent job of stringing that play out. Greathouse wanted to turn it upfield and couldn't find the hole.
Well, nice job by Ricky Reynolds. He blitzed in there. He shot in from his cornerback position. That's a red blitz. He read it all the way, was able to get underneath the coverage, form Greathouse a chance kind of to loop back outside, and Metcalf came in and threw him down.
So now, do they go for it? Yes, they do. Third down at the 7-yard line. Everybody bunched around the heater down at the end of the bench. Here's the fake pitch back. Crouch turned right, and Krakowski overran him at the 10-yard line. He tried to run that naked bootleg rollout right, sent everybody left, and down he went. And it's back at the 10, and now I think they'll send in the field goal team.
There's an old saying, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. Krakowski was the individual that was burned against UCLA when Stevens did that same exact play. He was waiting for him. He threw Couch down on the sofa.
Earlier in the ball game, oh my goodness. Earlier in the ball game, I said I couldn't understand why you'd run the ball down the field, run, and then throw it. Here's the field goal try off the 17. The long kick is good. It is a 27-yard field goal for Arizona. A field goal of 27 yards with 9:02 remaining to play in the third quarter. It is 10-0 Arizona, and Michael James deep in the middle. The ball will go to the goal line and beyond. James has it there and goes to a knee in the end zone. He will not return it, and the Cougars once again will start at the 20-yard line. Paul? Well, the Cougars out of there now to try and get rolling, and once again Ed Blunt at quarterback with split backs, but James, one of the split backs, comes out to the left side in motion. Back goes Blunt to pass, looks for a receiver, open James left side. The throw is knocked down at midfield, almost intercepted. The man was there, and Eugene Hardy got underneath it. Now that throw is into what is a freshening breeze out of the west and may have held up a little bit. It floated, and it was almost intercepted.
Well, if Ed would have been able to look back earlier, James was wide open. There was no doubt about that one. He just waited a little bit too long, allowing the defensive back to come over and make the play. That was nearly another big interception by Arizona, but he was open all along.
So 0 for 3 in the second half. Ed Blunt sets his team 2nd and 10 at the 20. Wood in motion out to the left. It's a draw and out of Porter up the middle. He's banged by the linebacker, knocked off his feet. The man who got to him that time, outside linebacker Dan Lockett, a 230-pounder from Fort Valley, Georgia. There are a few guys in the pro ranks from Fort Valley State you may have heard of. Well, that's a young man from Fort Valley, Georgia. And the carry to the 24-yard line by Kerry Porter. So a 4-yard advance. And for Porter now, 57 yards on 13 carries in the game. So for the Cougars, out they come at 3rd down and 6 from their own 24-yard line. Cotton Sears wide left, Kittrick Taylor out to the right. Split backs behind the quarterback Blunt, tight end to the left. There's Blunt, the full turn, runs left on the option, keeps it, turns upfield, nothing there. He got over the 30 and out to about the check it over the 25 and out to about the 27-yard line and disappeared. Brent Wood, a linebacker in the stack. Also there, Martin Rudolph out of the secondary for Arizona. Put it on the 27. It's a 3-yard gain for Washington State. And punting time again for the Cougars and Rob Myers.
Boy, one thing we have not seen all year long is a fake punt. How many times has Washington State fake punted against teams? This might not be a bad time to use that.
Well, Rob Myers, the man back there. Tingstead calling the starting signal. Here's the snap back. The rush on, they blocked it. The ball goes flying up in the air. It's caught in the air at the 25. Tingstead makes the tackle, and Arizona has the football. They came in a rush. They looked like that blizzard on Snoqualmie Pass that I drove through last night. And they got there and smothered that. The ball went sailing up in the air and was recovered by Arizona, put it on the 25-yard line. The snap was good, right on the numbers, but they came in a hurry. And they blocked for Arizona by Boomer Gibson from Orange, California.
Boy, no doubt about that one. Gibson just came right up the pipe, laid out, blocked that thing as flush as can be.
At the 25-yard line of Washington State, leading 10-0. Arizona ball from the eye, it's Adams into the middle, and there's nothing there. And for one of the very few times in the ball game, the Cougars stopped him. Marvin Adams submarining down around his shoe tops, and he got nothing on the play that time. And at no gain, he's stuck at 169 yards for the game for the moment.
Oh.
A few times today that David Adams has.
No, Adams knocked down. On 2nd and 10 at the 25, John Horton will go wide left. Derek Hill will slot left. The tight end, Vince Lottie, is to the right for Arizona. I formation, Adams behind McLemore. Andy Crouch at quarterback. Hands to Adams. Starts left, cuts back right, and is ridden down by Brian Ford as he got down to about the 21 or 22-yard line. He started left, and as they say, cut back on the dime and left you change, and took the ball to the 22-yard line.
I saw a couple of pennies down there. No doubt Adams has great quickness. The thing about backs like this, when he's not a very big guy, he has an excellent quickness, and the thing about turf, it allows and really accentuates that quickness.
Despite the snow that fell on it last night and the freezing weather, it's in excellent shape. It was scraped and it's dry out there now. Adams goes in motion for the first time this afternoon out wide to the left side. Back to pass goes Andy Crouch for the 4th time today. Looks left, nobody open, runs right, 30, 25, 20. Dives to the 15-yard line, hit hard and ridden down there by Tim Downing, the freshman 248-pound 6'6" lineman from Durham, California. So they put it at the 15-yard line, a 7-yard gain.
That's unfortunate for Washington State because they had excellent coverage in the secondary. Pretty good pursuit, but what happened, the Cougars broke down. The defensive end got knocked inside. They lost their containment, and Crouch was able to get around the side. And Stevens did that against Washington State. So did Pay. They've really been picking on Washington State on those ends in terms of rushing the ball from the quarterback position.
And that one's good for a first down at the 15-yard line. Ball on the right hash, open side to the left sidelines right. I formation, 2 tight end offense, 1 receiver out to the left side. Here's the pitch back. Adams running right at the 10. He's bumped to the sidelines and out of bounds, hit by Kevin Thomason at the 7-yard line. Thomason, the safety man out of Sacramento, California, got him at the 7-yard line, but that's another 8-yard gain for little David Adams. Adams carrying for 8, 180 yards in the ball game now. That is his 24th carry in the ball game so far. Ball is on the right hash mark at the Washington State 8-yard line. They have open side left. Again, they'll go with 2 tight ends, wide man to the open side left. I formation. Andy Crouch at quarterback. Andy Crouch to David Adams. Adams at the 5, squirming at the right side down to about the 2. David Adams, 5 more yards down to the 2-yard line. And on his 25th carry, he's now at 185 yards in this football game, and it's a 1st and goal for Arizona.
You can talk about Adams all you want in terms of the great quickness, but you also have to credit that Arizona offensive line with giving him the holes. He's been running behind open holes and good running room all day long.
What they haven't done with Adams today is throw to him, and he has caught a dozen passes this year. Now in the eye again at the 2-yard line, 1st and goal. It's Adams ducking in, can't find an opening. He's ridden back to the 5-yard line, but I think his forward progress will take him down to around the 3 before the Cougars made the contact and drove him back. And Adams is up limping. He's hurt. He's very wobbly, and Greathouse is coming into play. It looks like he's hurt a leg, perhaps an ankle, and he's going to limp off under his own power. He's not only a tough little guy running with a football, but he's hurt and he's going to come off. He's not going to wait for the trainers to come and get it.
We'll take into account that he was hurt earlier in the 2nd quarter. The same ankle on a sweep to the left side. Looked like Ricky Reynolds or Chappelle came in there and knocked him down. But that time, someone rolled right over and you could just see him get bent back. That ankle got twisted up underneath the guy, and that hurts.
I think he deserves a standing ovation from the Cougar fans just for the performance he has put on. 5'6", 167, and 184 yards rushing in this game. Now they go to split backs in the backfield. New set. Signals called by Andy Crouch at quarterback. With the ball, Crouch hands off to one of his running backs crossing over. Drives it down right to the goal line. Joe Pryor, touchdown, Arizona. Pryor set to the right. They have the 2 fullbacks, Pryor and Webb, in the ball game. And in cross-buck action, Pryor carries it in to score from 3 yards out. It's a touchdown for the University of Arizona from the 3-yard line as Pryor carries the ball. And that's his first touchdown of the contest. That one from the 3-yard line came with 4 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Extra point try, Gary Costin, who with his extra point in this game is 24 of 24 for the season. The snap, a little high, spotted. The kick is up end over end. That kick is good. And so with 4:40 remaining to play, Arizona 17, Washington State nothing at the first opportunity. Paul has a couple of other scores I think will interest you. Here is the run up now, and the kick by Arizona. A floater down the middle. It'll take a high bounce. James let it go by at the goal line. It's going to roll through the end zone, knocks over the pylon underneath the goalpost. It'll come out to the 20. Signals called. Eddie Blunt with the ball, running to the right. Pitch back to Kerry Porter. Porter on the right side tried to get around the corner and got out to about the 26-yard line. So not a bad run as Porter took the pitch on the option, brought it out to the 26.
Not a bad play-by-play call in between sneezes there either. Nice job.
That's what those cough switches are for. You can sneeze or cough with them, either one. Kerry Porter picks up 6. And for Kerry, one of his better runs of the ball game, along with that big 37-yarder earlier in the game. He now has 63 yards, and the Cougars second down at 4. Once again ready. Here's Blunt with a snap, rolling to the left side, looking for a block. Got it from Kingstad, but caught from behind and knocked down hard. And the man who got there to get him was outside linebacker Dan Lockett. Or was that Byron Evans? That was Lockett that got him. Evans was pursuing, but from the outside came Lockett to make the hit back at the 22.
Good blocking that time by the Cougars. Unfortunately, Lockett looped all the way around. He blitzed from the backside. Ed had room to run, but he held up, tried to get somebody open, and really took a shot from Lockett on the back.
3rd and 8 for Washington State at the 22-yard line. They've not been able to get going here in the third period and trail 17-0. Here's Blunt, turns, keeps, fakes, rolls back to the right side. May run now. No, going to throw it upfield. Caught by James across the 35 for a first down at the 37. A diving catch by Michael James at the 37-yard line. Split backs, 2 receivers to the left. 17-0 Arizona. Cougar ball. Rolling left is Blunt. Throws to the left sidelines. Taylor, great catch at the 40. Kendrick Taylor and out of bounds at the 38 of Arizona. He was about as extended as you could be and fingertipped that ball and ran out of bounds at the Arizona 38-yard line. That is a 25-yard passing game for Washington State. Ed Blunt to Kendrick Taylor, and the Cougars are on the move now, bringing that ball down the field.
And they're doing it with the rollout options, with an option to run or pass. Ed has picked up 2 good first downs on passing options.
Mark Bircher wide to the right side now. Michael James to the left, split backs. Blunt with his tight end Orchard to the left. The full counter option spin. Pitch back, left side. Porter around the left corner and out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Kerry Porter. So Kerry carried the ball that time from the 38 down to the 35. That for Porter on his 15th carry, a 3-yard gain, 66 yards on 15 carries for Kerry Porter of Washington State here this afternoon.
You notice they've gotten away from that inside game. They're really starting to work on the outside, either the option on the pitch or the pass.
Arizona with 2 exceptional linebackers in Evans and Wood inside have been very difficult to run up the middle against, and a good tough nose guard in Dana Wells. He's on the center. Now the fake to the middle. Back goes Blunt. Sets up, throws over the middle, deep for Taylor. Intercepted at the 5-yard line. Being returned now by Martin Rudolph. 20, 25. Penalty markers are down. Several of them as Mel Orchard and Ed Kingstad and Arizona linebacker Byron Evans are all stacked up in a heap back around the 17-yard line. But Rudolph picked it off on an almost acrobatic catch at the 5-yard line as he ducked inside receiver Kendrick Taylor for the 3rd Arizona interception of the afternoon. And it was Rudolph returning it up the right sidelines. Explanations being made now as the Cougar defensive unit comes on and flags are down at the 17-yard line.
Well, there's a clip that time. It looked like Evans clipped Kingstad, but it doesn't matter. That ball, had he been able to rifle that thing, now it was interesting. He was running just a single receiver pattern that time. Kendrick Taylor was running right down the middle. He had him beat on the post, but the ball kind of held up there. I don't know if it was a wind or if he just tried to float that thing in there, but great interception by Rudolph, who just cut right underneath the receiver, picked it off. Big turnover again for Arizona, 3rd interception of the afternoon.
And since the clip occurred during the live ball, it'll be 1st and 10 back at the 9-yard line. So here we go. Arizona with a football in a 17-0 lead, 2:50 to go in the third quarter of the ball game. Andy Crouch at quarterback sets him in the I. McLemore in front of Art Greathouse in the I formation stack. Pitch to Greathouse running right, 10-yard line, hurdles and dives out to the 16. The freshman whose dad played for rival Arizona State. Going to be a little difficult for Daddy watching Art play because he's obviously going to play a lot in his career in Arizona. Art Sr. going to have to root, I guess, against his old school if he's going to root for his kid down the next few years.
Oh, there's flesh and blood when that's your kid out there playing. It doesn't matter who they're playing against. You want the son to do well.
7-yard gain by freshman Art Greathouse. Second down 3 at the 16-yard line. Ball on the right hash. Cougars 4 down linemen. The outside backers up. Pitch to Greathouse running right again. Hit at the 15 and got to about the 17-yard line. Mark Ledbetter dragged him down. Chris Hiller was the man who made the initial contact. They brought him down at the 17-yard line. That's just a 1-yard advance. The Arizona Wildcats leading 17-0 here as they bring the ball into the hash mark at the 17-yard line. Clock is stopped. I'm not sure I understand why. I don't think he went out of bounds, did he, Paul?
Well, I think the hometown scorekeeper that time gave the Cougars a couple of extra seconds on that one.
Hasn't started running yet. There's something going on because Jimmy Springer is checking something. Now looks up at the clock.
Well, he might have sneezed like you, and instead of pushing the cough button, he pushed the time.
Okay, now he winds it up. So he had it stopped for something procedural down there on the field. And Arizona with the ball now. 2 tight end offense. Third down, 2 yards to go for the first down. I formation, Crouch, Greathouse, up the middle he comes, first down, breaks a tackle, at the 25, at the 30, and finally dragged down by Sean Landrum, who just held on, and Landrum figured he was either going to get dragged to death or he was going to make the tackle, and he finally hauled him down with some scrapes and bruises on him.
Well, that was just a great run by Greathouse. He just took the ball right up the middle, blew right through Brian Ford, number 57, ran right through Ricky Reynolds, and Ronnie Collins and Sean Landrum finally had to come in and knock him down, but that's just excellent running.
13 yards and a first down for the Arizona Wildcats as they take the ball out to the 30-yard line now, and it'll be first down and 10 at that point. They lead 17-0. Wide receivers both sides. Motion through right to left by Fairholm in front of the I stack. Here's the pitch now to Greathouse, the tailback, running right. 30, bounced off a couple, over the 35 near the 36-yard line. David Adams isn't playing anymore, but Greathouse is doing just the same things. He's just taking the ball and ripping it off the flanks and moving it upfield for Arizona. Give him the 36-yard line on that count, and Art Greathouse picks up 6 more yards for Arizona, and it'll be second down and 4 yards to go.
Well, these last 3 teams that Washington State has played has really worked on those corners, and again, Arizona is just taking advantage of that. They're working on the corners and picking up a lot of yards.
Wide men both ways. Horton has gone wide to the left. It's Derek Hill to the right. New fullback in now, Joe Pryor. Hill in motion, right to left through the formation. Here's the snap. Here's the ball to Greathouse. Up the middle he comes. Dives just short of the 40 and very close to a first down. They might have to eyeball this one to see if he has it or not. As Greathouse brought the ball out to about the 40-yard line. Another 4-yard advance for Art Greathouse. And for Arizona now, 101 yards here in the third quarter as we're down to 23, 22, 21 seconds left to go. Gregory comes in as linebacker. Alapati goes out for Washington State. It is third down and the length of the football to go for Arizona short of the 40-yard line. Now they're ready. Motion through right to left by the flanker Fairholm. Back with the ball and to draw to Greathouse. Up the middle, 40, 45, and bounce down at around the 46-yard line. That's a first down, no question, with 2 seconds remaining in the quarter. So he carries to the 46. A 6-yard gain for Art Greathouse and a rushing first down, the 16th on the ground and the 17th overall for the Wildcats, who have only 1 passing first down on 1 completion in 3 tries here in the ball game. And now time runs out in the third quarter. At the end of the third period, Arizona 17, Washington State nothing. Back here at Martin Stadium, Bob Robertson, Paul Sorensen, Vince DeMiro. The score is 17-0, Arizona leading. They have the ball at their own 46-yard line. Now motion, they'll put both receivers out on the left side from the I. They go to the fullback, diving the ball, and not much there. He didn't gain anything at all, I don't believe, as Rob Cleveland was there, and also there for Washington State, Marvin Adams. And they rode the fullback down on that play. no gain. The ball goes right back at the 46-yard line. Arizona with Joe Pryor running at fullback now. They'll send in Derek Hill as a wide receiver, and John Horton comes out.
Well, it was getting kind of boring. It was Greathouse left, Greathouse right. He had run every play up to that point. We're on our 8th play in the drive, and he had carried the ball 7 times.
So now Greathouse at the tailback. David Adams, I would think, is probably through for the afternoon. Here's the pitch to Greathouse running right. Cuts it. He dives out to around the 48 or 49. Not much there. Brian Ford got a piece of him to knock him off balance. Also down at the bottom of the stack for Washington State that time was Tim Downing. And then the secondary people came up to help out. And he got to the 49-yard line. So a gain of 3. I formation once again. Andy Crouch at quarterback sets his team, drops back on the draw. The ball is on the ground, fumbled, but on the ball goes Greathouse. The tailback made the recovery for Arizona, and so the Wildcats retain possession of the ball, and now get their punting unit in. Now, they've not been in there punting very often this afternoon. I think this is only the second time for Rodriguez.
Well, that was something Washington State desperately needed. That ball was bouncing around on the turf. Greathouse showed good athletic ability to grab that thing, pulled it away, I think from Downing, a defensive end who came in and nearly recovered that fumble for Washington State.
It's back at the 46 again, so they lost 3. And Ruben Rodriguez is back to kick. Kittrick Taylor deep to receive. Cougars 10 men at the line of scrimmage. They're ready to come. Signals called now. Here's the snap. Rush from the outside. Here's the left-footed kick. High in the air, a floater against the wind. Fair catch signaled, and Kittrick has it near the 20-yard line. Kittrick Taylor, the receiver for Washington State, with the wind at his back, had to come up on that ball, which was a sort of a floater, a difficult ball to handle, like hitting a knuckleball, and he caught that ball just inside the 20-yard line, and that's where the Cougars will start now. Down 17-0. Washington State ball at their own 20-yard line, and Tim Rosenball is in to play quarterback. The freshman from Pullman, 6'2", 208-pounder, takes over at quarterback now for Washington State. Rosenball will have Porter and Pringle as his running backs. Mike Pringle is in now. Here is Rosenball with a snap, rolling left, pump fake, going to run it now. He's at the 20, got his head down, got near the 22, and is wrestled down. Tim Rosenball with that one pump fake as he rolled out to the left. He's a right-handed quarterback, so he was faking to throw back across his body a bit. They say 21-yard line, so a 1-yard gain.
That was just a design play that time. Both good coverage out in the secondary for Arizona. Rosenbach saw it. He just tried to tuck it up and pick up a couple yards. If he'd have cut back inside, he may have picked up a few more.
Prior to this game, he's 24 for 43, 56% passing. Now signals called. He'll have a man in motion through the formation from left to right. Mark Bircher, here's the turn. Run right, hit, pitches the ball away. Got it away to Pringle. And Pringle is out to the 21-yard line, the line of scrimmage. And down he goes. And the tackle made by Byron Evans and Brent Wood. Those two very quick, hard-hitting inside linebackers for Arizona.
It's just amazing how fast these linebackers fill for Arizona. I mean, there is a hole there for a second, and then at the last minute, you see a white jersey, and he's slamming you down to the turf. Credit Arizona's defense for playing great defense right now.
Well, they'll change footballs now, put the ball down just its own length across the 21-yard line. At center, Alan Boatman. Signals will be called by quarterback Tim Rosenbach. Here's the snap, 2 men out to the right. Drops back, throw over the middle, caught by Sears up at the 35-yard line. A Pullman High School combination, although I don't believe they played together. Their careers that far apart, but each of them graduated from Pullman High School. Sears caught the ball at the 35-yard line. And so a 14-yard passing gain for Tim Rosenball, Washington State to Cotton Sears. And the Cougars have themselves a first down. That's their 9th through the air. From the 35, the snap, Rosenball with the ball, rolls left. Gets a block from Pringle, had the ball knocked away. Loose ball going to be recovered by Arizona at the 20-yard line. Rosenball rolling left. Pringle got a block in front of him, but was sort of back Paul in his lap, and he had to belly back around the block. And as he bellied around it, the ball got knocked away by an on-rushing Arizona lineman, and Arizona recovers at the Cougar 20.
Well, that time, Rosenbach tried, just like Bob said, loop around, but he had the ball in the right hand. He tried to scoot to the left side of a defensive player for Arizona. He just put his helmet right on the ball, and it just shot backwards about 20 yards. And this has been the name of the game for Arizona. They have been knocking on the Cougar door all day long. Block punts, interceptions. This time a fumble recovery. That's a 4th turnover of the day. 3 interceptions plus a fumble recovery plus a block punt. So needless to say, the Arizona's defense is stuffed the Washington State offense this afternoon.
So here they come with a chance to score again. Andy Crouch at the 20-yard line to his tailback. Greathouse fakes in, turns out left, and then runs kind of sideways, knifing his way over the 15 down to about the 12-yard line. Art Greathouse, see where they put him down. It is an interesting, if saddening statistic in this game. The Cougars came in still among the nation's leaders in the plus-minus ratio giveaway takeaway, while Arizona was -3 coming in today, and it's been the takeaways by Arizona that has given them the 17-0 lead. Ball down to the 12-yard line, an 8-yard run by Art Greathouse, the tailback, and out come the white uniformed Arizona Wildcats again. Now from the I formation, one receiver out to the left. The handoff, the fullback, Pryor, off the right side for a first down and takes it down to the 8-yard line. The Cougars stop made by Chris Hiller from Fort Vancouver, a junior. That's Vancouver, USA, as they say down along the Columbia River. And they took the ball down. I think they're going to put it down at about the 8-yard line. That's a 4-yard gain for Greathouse. Or check it for Pryor, the fullback.
Well, Coach Smith's game plan's been very basic. He's just been running the ball to the left, running it back to the right side. Adams has torn him up, and so has Greathouse. And then when they come back, a little change of the pace with a fullback up the middle, and it's just been very effective. They've just worn Washington State down defensively, and he can't help Washington. The defense has been put in tough situations by the offense all afternoon.
With first down goal at the 8, the chain gang has put the chains down in their hands and their pockets to keep warm now. Only the down box is on the sidelines. Again, two tight end offense for Arizona with first down at the 8 on the right hash mark. Here's the turn. It's the fullback. Pryor slams in over left guard down to the 4-yard line. And it was Tim Downing who burrowed into the pile that time along with Brian Ford. And to now Alapate to make the tackle for Washington State. With the ball to the 4, it's another 4-yard advance, and Arizona is down knocking on the door now. 9:49 to go. A lot of the fans headed off to get warm. There weren't a great number of them here today, but I think both of us, Paul, are critical about the size of attendance, but today you could understand it to a certain degree.
Oh, it was cold, no doubt about it.
No pun intended about degree. At the 4-yard line, motion now through to the right side, two tight end offense. Greathouse, through he goes for a touchdown for Arizona. It opened up on the left side, an excellently blocked hole on the left, and Art Greathouse takes it on through to score for the University of Arizona Wildcats with 9:27 to go in the football game. And he just took it on through to score. 9:27 to go from 4 yards out. Greathouse gets his second touchdown of the afternoon. And Arizona leads it 23-0 with the extra point try coming. Gary Kostin, a 6-foot freshman, will try the extra point. Replaces Max Zendejas. Here's the kick up in the air. The kick is good. He boots it through, and he is doing a good job replacing Max Zendejas, although he missed a field goal today. And the score is 24-0. Arizona on top with 9:27 to go. It is a chilly afternoon now, but still broken clouds overhead. Here's the run forward, a low line drive kick through, bounced off one of the up men, picked up now at the back by a Cougar lineman, I think, or fullback, and he'll run it up over the 25-yard line. Oh, it's Cotton Sears, a receiver who was back as a blocker, and Sears picked that ball up as it skittered through, brought it back out to about the 27.
Bob, we talked about field position, and that was Art Greathouse's second touchdown of the day. What do you think about it? Arizona's touchdown drives have gone 23 yards, 48 yards, 25 yards, and 20 yards. Now, that doesn't take a Rhodes Scholar to figure out what kind of field position the offense has put the defense in.
This is the Cougars' best field position to start a drive in the second half. 20, 20, 20, and 27. And here we go from the 27. James to the left side, their trips left. Rosenbaugh, quarterback. Timmy rolls left. Going to run it now. 30, 35, cutting out to the right side. Outran a man to the 40. 45, 50, 45, 40. And Rosenbaugh, a great run out of bounds at the 37-yard line. There's a dandy recovery by Tim Rosenbaugh, who takes the ball 36 yards on the run.
Well, I don't know. I never thought Rosenbaugh was that quick. He must have cut that piano off before that play. He just rolled right to the right side. Everybody, Arizona, shifted all the way over there because of the trip formation. He saw it, cut right back up the field, then cut back all the way across the field. He was outrunning guys.
He was. He went around one of those defensive backs and left him standing in his tracks out there.
If an official would have had a jugs gun on that one, he'd have been a 90-mile-an-hour fastball.
James DeBow was the man he ran around. All right, the 36-yard run by Tim Rosenbaugh. Now Taylor in motion out of the backfield. Tim drops back to pass. Now being flushed out of the pocket. Throws over the middle. Caught down the middle at the 22-yard line and dragged down right after the catch that time, Victor Wood. Wood to the 22 on the pass, a 15-yard gain. And now suddenly the Cougars come to life on this possession as they move the ball. A 15-yard pass for Rosenbaugh. His second completion, and the two completions are good for 29 yards and 2 first downs. The Cougars trailing by a score of 24-0. 9 minutes remaining to play here in the football game at Martin Stadium. Split backs, Porter and Michael James. James, a receiver, out to the left in motion now. Back to pass, Rosenbaugh looks down the middle. Now he's going to run it. Straight arms at the 20-yard line, and down he goes at the 20. Maybe got forward. Nope, they're going to put him on the 20. He tried to wriggle forward to the 19, but both the side men of the officiating crew say, no, the 20-yard line is all you're going to get, young man. And so it's a 2-yard advance for Tim Rosenbaugh. But the Cougars now are suddenly over 100 yards of offense in the second half.
Well, this is a difference between Blunt and Rosenbaugh. He was not able to run around. He could tell that he was hurting. Well, Tim's getting the ball, and if there's nobody open, he's just taking it right back up the field, picking up a couple yards.
Tim's walking a bit gingerly back to the line of scrimmage now to take the next snap. Sends Porter in motion out to the left. Trips set right. Back pedals to set up. Want to throw over the middle. Short release. Ball caught by Rick Chase down at about the 15-yard line. Chase hit immediately and down. And the man who got him was Brent Wood, the linebacker. And they're going to give him inside the 15 to about the 13-yard line. So a 7-yard gain on the forward pass that time by Washington State. Rosenbaugh to Chase. 36 yards passing for Tim Rosenbaugh. The Cougars have 206 passing yards now in the football game. But they trail by a score of 24-0 with 7:39 to go.
You have to credit Tim with coming in a tough situation. He's really moved this club nicely here on this drive.
Stallworth to the left. James and Bircher to the right, split backs. And one of those, I think, is Rick Chase. Here's the handoff to Porter, and Porter dives in on the right side, getting over the 10-yard line, but that should get him a first down. He didn't need very much for a first down, about a yard, and he got maybe 3 on that one as he took the ball down to about the 10. So Kerry Porter picks up 3, and a Washington State rushing first down, their 8th on the ground. For Kerry Porter now, 3 yards gives him 69 on 16 carries so far in the ball game.
And those have been tough yards for Kerry Porter.
They really have. A lot of 1s and 2s in there for Kerry Porter today, banging in the middle. He is the only running back. 2 men split left, 1 right. First down at the 10. Back goes Rosenbaugh. Sets up. Throw to the corner. Touchdown, Washington State. Cotton Sears. Sears slipped in behind cornerback James DeBow. And Tim Rosenbaugh threw it right over the defensive back's shoulder into the arms and against the numbers of a leaping Cotton Sears. So the Cougars score. Tim Rosenbaugh to Cotton Sears, and the Cougars now probably will go for 2. Here's another look for Paul Sorensen at the touchdown.
Nice strong arm shot by Rosenbaugh. He just was able to get that ball up over the top of the defensive back there. I couldn't tell. I think that was James DeBow, number 38,
yes,
who had an interception earlier in the game, but he fired that thing. The other passes have been kind of floated in there. That was a rifle.
A 10-yard touchdown pass, and the Cougars go for 2. Rosenbaugh rolls out right, looks back, throws end zone, incomplete. He may have thrown it a bit too hard on a cold day, and James, sliding at the back of the end zone at the end line, could not hold on, and so they don't get the 2. And with 7:04 to go, it is Arizona 24, Washington State 6. Well, not a big crowd here this afternoon, but I'll tell you, as the Cougars get ready for the onside kick here, and there are 9 men up for Arizona waiting for it, it was tough getting a raging blizzard through the Snoqualmie Pass last night. Here's the kick, Obrastoff, and it is quickly covered by Kip Lewis, a wide receiver on the hands team up front. And he covers the ball. It didn't even get the 10 yards. It was recovered by Lewis at about the Cougar 44-yard line or thereabouts. And that's where Arizona now will start following the onside kick. But the Cougars are on the scoreboard. It is now a 24-6 football game.
That was a very nice drive for Washington State. 6 plays, 73 yards. Only consumed 2 minutes and 36 seconds. Rosenbaugh to Sears, 10-yard touchdown pass. Cougs down 24-6.
I formation, and Alfred Jenkins is now at quarterback for Arizona. His first appearance here this afternoon. Look for Jenkins to be steaming and want to get something done. Turns, hands off to the fullback. He dives the ball forward. That's Joe Pryor. And Pryor takes it down near the 40-yard line. I was going to say that coming across the mountains last night to get here for the ball game, raging blizzard over Snoqualmie Pass almost into Ellensburg. Pretty good conditions from there to Dusty, and then a sheet of black ice all the way from Dusty into Pullman.
If it was dark, how could you tell it was black ice?
All you had to do is touch the brakes.
That's fair.
Yeah, that was it. Then you're going backwards and looking up at the stars.
That explains your 70-mile-an-hour speed limit, huh?
That's right. Ball at the 41-yard line, and here they go. And the handoff now to the left side. They'll take it down to about the 35. So Pryor, the fullback, now becomes the workhorse for Arizona. He picks up 9 yards and 2 carries. And check it, Chuck Knox. Yeah, young Chuck Knox from Bellevue, Washington.
He's a famous
out of the
father.
Seahawk camp. Yes,
decent coach over there.
So Knox is in now, playing in the tailback spot. He has replaced Art Greathouse. So the number 3 tailback is in. Chuck played on the state championship team at Bellevue High School and then went south to play at Arizona. Here's a handoff now to the fullback. He'll take the ball on the left side. Pryor down over the 30 to around the 27-yard line. And it was tough to bring down. Took a lot of crimson jerseys to get him that time. And I think late in the ball game, when you're down 24-6, it does become a little harder to knock people down. Artie Holmes principally made the tackle on that one.
Well, it really does. Those backs have just been running hard. Arizona's been well coached. They played an excellent football game here. You have to credit them with playing very hard. They're in the hunt still.
Alfred Jenkins at quarterback now. I formation in the backfield. Joe Pryor in front of Chuck Knox. 2 tight end offense. They're letting the clock run down a little bit. They're staying on the ground so far. Pitch to Knox, running left. Pucks that ball away at the 30, 25. Ducked around a man out of bounds at around the 20-yard line, maybe the 19. Well, they say he didn't get out. He's down at the 18-yard line. He came down inbound. So at the 18-yard line, it's a gain of 9 for Knox. Young man is a sophomore. He's 5'11", 193. Has been averaging 4.8 yards per carry so far.
Showed good quickness there that time. Just scooted right around the end, then bellied back inside. Did a smart thing. He stayed inbounds to keep that clock going.
Out of the huddle come the Arizona Wildcats at the Cougar 18-yard line, 2nd down and 1. Long count, Jenkins, Knox, ducks in, then turns out to the left, but got hit at the 19-yard line as the Cougars rallied well that time. And Maury Metcalf was the first man there to make the tackle. Chris Hiller was also there.
Hiller really did an excellent job. Defeated the block that time, just came flying in and really hit Knox before he had a chance to get going up the field. Big 3rd and 2 here on the 19. Cougars want to get that ball back. They need a big play here.
Coming out of the ball game is Reed Clayton, a 6'6", 281-pound senior from Portland, Oregon.
Jeez.
An offensive tackle for Arizona. Back in is Reinhardt, who's 6'2" and 318. The spot. They needed a bigger man in there to block. Here's the pitch back to Knox, running right now at the 20, cuts it to the 15, and dives inside the 12-yard line for a first down. Ricky Reynolds made the tackle. I formation behind Alfred Jenkins. Checking off at the line now, making the play call. Long count. Looks over the defense. Now the snap, the handoff to the fullback Pryor. Slams through on the left, a little slant down to the 5-yard line. Goes Pryor. It was Brian Ford with Ron Lee and Artie Holmes who made the tackle for Washington State. But that play down to the 5, a 7-yard run, and Arizona really moving it in big chunks now.
Oh, they are. Arizona's just taking it right at Washington State. That's a beat-up defense right now. Krakowski's out. They're down to 4 linebackers, if you can believe it, for the whole unit. They have 1 side left. Jeff
Loomis is in now. He'll be going home to Oregon to play next week. The only Oregonian, I think, on the entire football squad. All right, I formation once again. 2 tight end offense at the 5-yard line, 2nd down 3. Jenkins again, the long count, running as much off the clock as he can. To Pryor, he dives to the right, has a first down at the 1-yard line. Pryor knocked down by Lee and Alapate, but he took the ball down to the 1, a 4-yard gain. And for Arizona, another first down. Would you believe Arizona has unofficially 20 first downs, 19 on the ground and 1 on a pass?
And the 1 on the pass was a biggie because that was from about the 1-yard line on 3rd and 8.
It was, and they have completed only that 1 pass this afternoon. Now the I again, 1st and goal from the 1. Right hash, 2 tight end offense. Power set at the line of scrimmage, but a stack in the backfield. Pryor dives over the top, touchdown Arizona. Joe Pryor, the fullback, goes up and over the top. Goes 1 yard to score with 2:47 remaining to play in the football game. Just 1 measly little yard, but that's all it took. He got over the top. You may remember earlier in the game, the Cougars were less than a yard away, and Ed Blunt tried to go over the top. He got there, but he did not have possession of the ball as he went over, and the Cougars didn't score, and Arizona wriggled off the hook, got out of trouble, and turned the game around.
And if you can believe it, that was their second longest scoring drive of the day of 44 yards.
I believe it. Now they'll put the ball on the 10-yard line on the tee. The lines are set for the snap. Here's the ball back. Poston. Soccer kicks it up and through. The extra point is good. And so with 2:47 to go in the football game, it's Arizona 31, Washington State 6. Well, Arizona has kicked off. Rich Reed returned the ball for the Cougars up the sidelines in front of the bench to the 17. Got hammered a couple of times there before he finally went down. But it's the Cougars' ball now, 1st and 10.
Well, Arizona's just playing out of their mind right now. They're absolutely stuffing Washington State. 9-play, 44-yard drive, ate up 4 minutes and 34 seconds. Cougars need a bunch quickly.
All right, Cougar ball at the 17. Out of the backfield in motion to the right side. Rich Reed now. Back to pass. Tim Rosenbaum. Pump fake. Throws long over the middle. James got it at the 50. Had it stripped away. Loose ball. Scramble for it. Arizona ball. They completed to Michael James. And as he caught the ball, he got a couple of steps. It was a completion. It was stripped away and recovered for Arizona by Martin Rudolph. Another turnover for Washington State, but they'll put the ball back at the 42-yard line.
Well, needless to say, Rudolph's had a pretty decent game. He's had 2 interceptions and a fumble recovery. So that's 3 turnovers just by himself there. That's unfortunate. James was 1 guy away from breaking that thing. Beautiful pass by Rosenbaum.
41 yards.
Spring.
Ball 41 yards on the completion.
Oh, brother, it just kills me.
But the ball goes over to the Arizona Wildcats with 2:31 to go. Quarterback, it's the third quarterback in for Arizona now. Craig Bergman at quarterback. Hands off into the middle of the line. You don't expect Craig is going to be throwing the ball around very much. He has thrown only 1 pass this year from Cloverdale, California. A 6'6", 214-pound freshman at quarterback for Arizona.
Well, Knox was the young man on the ball carrier at that time, 6'6". He should be a tennis player, a defensive end or something like that. That's a big kid.
For the 42, Knox brought that ball out to about the 48 for a 6-yard gain. And so it'll be 2nd down, 4 yards to go. Here's the snap, the turn, the handoff to the fullback, picking his way. Pryor through the left side over the 50 down to the Cougar 47, maybe the 46-yard line. Ronnie Lee rode him down there. And I think they're going to give him to almost the 46. And that'll be a 1st down on a 6-yard run by Pryor, the fullback. And a lot of folks beginning to head on out of here tonight. Pryor is shaken up. They're helping him out to the sidelines. Ball at the 46-yard line, but a 1st down for Arizona. They're 20th unofficially on the ground. They've run the clock to 1:42, and it's ticking away. Arizona leads it by a score of 31-6. Here's the handoff to Knox on the right side. And Chuck bangs in on the right side, takes the ball down to the Washington State 43-yard line, and Knox in motion out to the right side on a 2nd down play from the Cougar 43. Handoff to the new fullback in there. That's Charles Webb, and he carries tacklers with him down over the 35 to the 32-yard line. Webb on the carry goes 11 to the 32-yard line, and Arizona is pushing close to the 200-yard mark in offense in this 2nd half. They came into the game with a conference leading 393 yards a game on offense, and they are, I think, above that right now. They had 202 yards in the 1st half, and they have 194 now. Yep, they do. They're 396 right now. Here's the snap, pitch back, Knox running the left side, got a block. He's at the 30, slammed into a tackler and went down to the 29-yard line. So Knox just trying to run over people now, takes it to the 29 with half a minute remaining to play in the football game. At the 29, the 3-yard gain. Maybe got a little more than that. Looks like almost 4 yards. It is, as they take it down to the 28. So give him 1 more yard. It is a 4-yard gain. And time ticking away, 12 seconds. This will probably be the last play. The quarterback, Craig Bergman, takes the ball, hands off to the fullback, straight arming his way to the left, Charlie Webb from Compton, California, down to the 20-yard line, and it's going to end on that 8-yard run as he carried the ball. The fullback, Charlie Webb, to the Cougar 20-yard line, and the game is over. Time ran out. The final score up on the board, Arizona 31, Washington State 6.